Told you right there, Peacemaker, because that noise means only one thing. It does mean it's time to get the game started. Overpass is our first map coming up in this series. fnatic's pick. Hawker, Bardolph, take it away.
Great series of maps, if you ask me. My favorite map of Overpass up first, and one of my favorite organizations in fnatic, who recently sent me their New Jersey, actually. I make it look very good, and their players do too. What do you have? Who do you reckon is going to win this series?
I think this veto is very good for fnatic. Overpass is a really good map for this team. Pretty much everyone on this team, I think, loves Overpass as a map. And I just think fnatic are really solid all round. There's no weaknesses, so I'm with them on this one. See if OG can prove me wrong, though. It is fnatic all going to be early. This looks like a quick one.
See that running smoke grenade for the balcony position, but they might not even get through the tunnel. Actually, they will, because Crims has got the Glock and he's got himself 2 headshots as well. FASHR, his job is to jump in and find the information. Then Roy will come through to trade the frag, leaving neofrag needing 4, because he's alone now in that short position, smoked off. As we wait for the bomb to get planted. Waiting for him to appear, in fact. flameZ, UK man's on deck with that last shot. Shoutouts to Keita as well. Doing great work in the background.
Yeah, good start for fnatic. Nice to see Crims getting off to a great start with those 2 entries out through Monster. And I think for flameZ as a player, he was always someone who was very methodical. Even when he was coming up on the UK teams, I casted him a few times, and he was clearly taking the game very seriously, much more so than a lot of the other players. Always very thorough with the way he plays, and I think that suits Overpass to a T as an in-game leader. There's lots of nade protocols, there's lots of map control you've got to go for. So for fnatic, this map suits their style really well.
Beautiful delivery of the HE grenade on T-ramp. fnatic with plenty of time to play with. They are in anti-force buy territory here. Maybe a smoke for the toilets. Indeed it will be. Look out in the buy rounds when there's an AWP for a Molotov towards that divider position as well, just to take some added angles away. neofrag says hello. fnatic slowly creeping towards the site. We'll keep an eye on the clock here and see how they clear things out. At this point, they've got 1 Molotov in the hands of flameZ. How will they secure the bomb site to secure the plant? Being very careful, but all this time leaves less time once you get to the bomb site itself.
Yeah, 35 seconds to make that happen. Issue for OG is the rotation isn't exactly quick on this map. If you come back from that B site to A, and as it stands, neofrag all alone, and the timing goes against him. He gets swung from the side. Roy, who oftentimes loves to be a space taker, an aggressive player, is the man in first. And really for OG, you probably do want to save here. If you lost your guns, you would have to full eco the next. So through the monster tunnel they go, hoping to live to fight another day.
fnatic come into this series in much better form than OG, are currently on a 6-match win streak. OG have had a number of losses, Astralis, FaZe, and FaZe again of late. So they'll be looking to right the ship in that respect. fnatic have been looking in very good form indeed. We'll see if that carries through. In terms of the timing of this anti-force buy round, the late play into A means confidence for fnatic. They believe in themselves. And OG will need to do the same if they are to prove victorious in this series.
Oh, fist bumps or high fives is the question. You've always got to make sure you know which you're doing.
There's a top-down fist bump rather than the usual side-by-side. What can we read from that, Hawker?
Oh, I think we can read that, you know, they're not feeling too good about this round.
What does it mean?
But they're going to get the side-on fist bumps for the next, I think. That's what that's all about. For now, they will relax. And yeah, definitely a good end to the year for fnatic. Making the major playoffs massive for this team, even if they did get pretty one-handedly beaten in the major playoffs. But fnatic, for the longest time, were struggling so much as an organization. So it's been a real revelation bringing this roster together. And then towards the end of the year after the major, they won that Elisa event you were talking about where they went on a nice win streak. So they'll be looking to bring that into Katowice here, starting in the play-in. Sneak out through Monster. Contact for fnatic. He spotted a fair few players there, so I think he realizes best not to poke the bear anymore. You don't want to poke the beehive or the bees will come at you.
Very disciplined Counter-Strike we've seen from fnatic. Again, with so much time on the clock, engaging the bomb site, then choosing to move elsewhere. But OG are being proactive. The fnatic are essentially rotating into the stack now. Neofrag will be the early warning system. Once they engage him, I wonder what the response will be afterwards from fnatic. Will they continue on their ways towards the A bomb site? He goes deep. Not much else he's expected to do there in that situation. 26 seconds on the clock. No utility for OG, just the weapons and their bodies that they are carrying through. crimz will have to protect this weapon. He may have a good chance of doing so, considering these CTs that are in the red, but the problems are compounding now. 12 seconds on the clock, and there's 2 more to find. A bomb carrier's been dropped. nexa is in trouble. 7 seconds. He has to find a kill here, surely. And it's going to be a robbery. The patient Counter-Strike has bit them in the butt, and a round will be robbed by the likes of OG. Just playing that clock a little bit too much, and soon your friend becomes your enemy.
crimz looking down on crimz in the Hall of Heroes. A very tenured player, but that round did not go according to plan. OG played this lovely. I think they obviously get a bit fortunate that they get the stack right, but the timing on this aggression into A short was just brilliant. It makes it so awkward for fnatic. They are stopped, they're stalled. The long players couldn't really get involved. It just made it so difficult for fnatic, and it was a similar round to the previous, except this time the resistance was there. And now we get full buys for both teams into round 4. Oh, Dexter had a really good opportunity there. You can't afford to miss those shots too often, and Roy makes them pay. Opener arm towards A. And he's even going to sneak through the smoke. Roy taking a lot of space over towards the A side of the map, but his team will go back to B.
Dexter managing to escape that long position. Made his way towards the bogs, aka the toilets. 1 minute on the clock. Tiku lining up the molly for the high and low ground. He may not get any sound cues from that, as fnatic seem to be walking in dry. nexa outside Monster for the time being. mezzi's made his way into the middle of the B bomb site, and he can't find a single person. What's going on here then? What does this mean? What is the meaning of this? 4 CTs alive. Have they full stacked the A bomb site? He must be asking himself. They get a free plant on B. Do OG even chase after this round?
Yeah, probably better to just call it off. You've got the AWP that you would rather save. It's not exactly great in retake scenarios. And your money isn't good either. So the guess or the gamble was wrong this time. It was an educated guess from OG that doesn't work out for them. And this is how OG will play quite often as a team. I think they're much more willing to take risks than a lot of other squads. They'll switch their setups. They'll go for these slightly riskier stacks. I think they especially do it in games where they're on their opponent's pick, because they're really just trying to throw fnatic off guard and realizing, hey, if we just play fnatic at their own game, on Overpass, on their pick, it's not going to go well. So they'll throw in these rounds where they take a bit of a risk. Unfortunately, though, sometimes the risk won't pay off. The replay is just mezzi walking into B and being like, yo.
So many angles to cover at the same time.
Come through, guys, come through.
Yeah, I guess no one's here, lads.
If that was matchmaking, you wouldn't trust your teammate. You'd say, no.
Yeah.
It can't be clear.
You haven't checked this at all, have you? Saw some of the OG lads a few months ago in Copenhagen. Very nice, kind bunch of souls. But we're hoping to see some nastiness on the server. 2 behind at present, 4 saving after stealing around. Very interesting start to this game of Overpass. Opening game of the series. Picked by fnatic, as the HUD will tell you in the top left. Now, what is the plan for Fiku? There's actually 2 types of monster smokes. One leaves a slight gap to the left-hand side, in terms of the ones you throw from spawn. So if somebody on the T side creeps too close to it, and you can see a bit of leg.
Roy is again hard lurking on long, so that could get interesting if Neofrag starts to hear that. He did throw a flash earlier, but I don't think OG are budging too heavily yet. In fact, flameZ will come back down towards B, but here is Roy, maybe looking to activate. They're not looking at long right now. They're looking occasionally on a timing, but if Roy activates at the right time, he could throw this round into disarray.
Is he looking for rotation, though, or an opportunist frag to pull people towards the A-bomb site? Because I can't see the B guys making their way back towards A. 31 seconds and still no concerns towards long. They have no idea how many players there might be here.
They're still sticking with the B setup, OG, though. They've read this.
Down go both the A players, so now the flank can be done. They're going to lose absolutely everything. Shut down by fnatic, finding all the gaps. Playing the long game, fnatic. Again, the discipline, the patience pays off once more.
I think Peacemaker pointed it out perfectly in the pregame. Roy is so damn good on this A side of the map, on both sides, T and CT. He can do so much work there. In fact, when flameZ used to play as more of a star rifler, he himself would play that spot really effectively. But as the in-game leader of the team, he realized Roy is way better at this role. He's just incredible.
If you're OG now on the CT side and you're willing to play a setup with some added risk, some increased risk like that, where, for example, nobody is watching long at all. Does a round like that, where you get utterly dismantled by the one hole in your defense, does a round like that condition you to spread yourself thinner and cover everything as per normal, or do you continue to play your own game?
It's tough. I think they will continue to leave gaps open. That's just how OG seem to play as a team, especially on their opponent's pick, that they just take some calculated risks. But I also wouldn't be surprised to see a bit more aggression at times from OG, because these late round scenarios are getting uncomfortable for them. And this is a round where they have gone for a big risk. Not many weapons for them, scouting some Deegs, so they decide to stack A. And this could get a little hairy for fnatic if they're not careful.
Numbers towards long dealt with, however, although we have Dexter further back with the scout. Support is on the way, if you can call it that. A man of a USP. Support is no longer on the way.
Yeah, I don't think he's a supporter. He's more like a supporter, like a fan.
Happy to be here.
Exactly. Ooh. Those scouts are always scary at the pro level. At any point, a headshot could be delivered. The Deeg is the same. flameZ finds one. Bomb dropped. He almost swings for the second, but Nico does, keeps it cool. And they will stay in control as they move back to B. I do think Dexter is the man to watch for OG. Was a little quiet in the opening matchup for them here against Sprout, but normally he is a true standout AWPer for this team. Oftentimes it feels like he has to activate to give OG their opportunity. Won't get the chance in this one, but he saved enough cash to have that AWP in the next. I think this could be where we see a bit of aggression from OG, because so far, the slow pace from fnatic has been really punishing. Yeah,
mid to late rounds, we haven't seen those proactive CT plays that we have seen in some matches prior today. And that might be opponent-based. We'll see if that evolves over time for OG. But as you mentioned, the money is here now that AWP is out for Dexter. The early grenades towards T-Ramp will be here as well. Going for some cheekiness early, fnatic, but nothing doing. It's a pain when the door's been blown off there. It can be difficult for the T side because the CTs can creep around and find angles. You've always got to watch it after that. OG will show some presence in the connector position for now. 5-1 for fnatic as Dexter will be flashed off of his angle. Chooses a secondary one, but he may feel compelled to fall back to the side. He doesn't really have a lot in the name of support at the moment. And he's going to find himself in all kinds of trouble. Down he goes. Now OG will have some issues towards A. fnatic know there's a CT around that connector position. flameZ will have to fight too, and he'll do exactly that. That's the bomb on the floor as well. Neofrag activates in connector, and suddenly things turn around. flameZ know his days are surely numbered in that corner. He'll buy as much time as he can.
Smoke for crimz is really helpful. And elsewhere, Katowice catches players in transition. That means he can't help on the bomb site yet, but he has to look at connector. Knife out at the worst time. He's just stabbing the air. He might have had time to get his gun back out even, with how long it took nexa.
Less than ideal, to say the least. 25 seconds on the clock for crimz. Is the play to save the AWP at this point? Or is he going to try and race towards the B bomb site? Does he read that nexa is near? He would be right in that respect, but that's such a tough angle to find a kill on. Have a look at this action again. flameZ, they lined up for him. Very hard position to deliver from. Stuck in the corner.
Hey, you're going back out, mate.
Oh, dear.
No.
So sometimes there can be some issues with mouse wheels, for example. It may have been that, it may not have been that, where sometimes like you roll your mouse, but it doesn't quite click to the next notch, and then you press mouse 1, and then that notch comes through and changes your weapon. Rarer and rarer that happens. Maybe it was that, maybe it wasn't. But your bayonet flying around is the last thing you want to see in a situation such as that.
Swing and a miss on that one. But good to see something go in the way of OG, even after losing that first player. I think for fnatic, they were assuming they could up tempo towards A after getting that opening pick, but flameZ did a good job at arriving on the rotate. And because fnatic thought it might be a little clearer, they just go for pace rather than utility. And that's what allows the lineup from flameZ on that nice shadow angle. Nice to see OG finding some success. See if they can keep it up. Fast play from FASHR up to connector. Got to be careful with that jump peak. See those shots landed occasionally, but not this time.
Yeah, it seems that from round to round, both teams will have some urgency to try and control connector. If fnatic want to take short B, then the door being blown off is a larger issue, of course. So you'll need to invest in a man or more in that connector position to keep your teammates safe.
Heard the desk talk about how valuable the AWP can be on this map. That got taken away from Dexter, so they don't have that AWP towards A this time. Neofrag tries the duel with the rifle, loses out, and now Fiku might be tested. This crossfire on Monster could be good for the CTs, though. Oh, another smoke. They're going to try and beat it.
Looking for the continuation spray, but his teammate is there. Only good for one. That's the bomb to be collected now as the last two players for OG consider their options. They are not on the B bomb site, neither of them. flameZ and Dexter, connector and Heaven respectively. You can see Dexter looking for opportunity, looking for someone to cross that pillar. And it will be Katowice, the last one he wanted to see, the man of the AWP.
Yeah, it's tough there for Dexter. He doesn't have the AWP, so he's maybe not as ready for the rotation paths, but being in Heaven there against the AWP and Katowice, never ideal. They're taking their time to get this bomb down. Come on, crimz. Let's do it. You're safe, I promise.
Very high levels of discipline here from fnatic. You can see he was going for the continuation spray with that M4A4, but the bullets will deny him. Abusing the numbers game on the T side. You can often find an AWP just holding the right side of that pillar as well as a push comes in. Something to look out for. Teammates focusing on the left, securing angles on short B, etc. But for now, flameZ will be hiding in the playground, trying to take this rifle into the next round. fnatic move to 6. Early success for fnatic.
flameZ was in really solid form in the opener for OG. Ended up being an incredibly close game, and flameZ had a big part to play in that win for OG. He has continued to play pretty well here at the start of Overpass, but it hasn't translated into too many round wins. Staying nice and hydrated. Another sip. Damn. He's thirsty. Thirsty for rounds, perhaps.
The catering here is actually fantastic as well. If you want to eat clean food, reasonable levels of energy, everything is available. Really good facility here in Katowice. Well furnished with water, coffee and the like.
Saw a banana in the background even.
Ooh, potassium.
Gotta get it in you.
Neon banana coloured mouse. 6-2. fnatic are in the driving seat for the time being. And indeed, Roy has been very instrumental. 8 frags at present, top of the scoreboard. fnatic lining up some grenades as fnatic are going for a faster round here. Shokanora, Surge into the B-bomb site. We've got chain flashes as well, but they won't save Crims. Fiku and flameZ will look to do what they can, and they'll both come in for some kills here. The trades will work as well. The bomb's in the water now. Neo Frag won't be able to do much. Nikado's in a very awkward position with an AWP. Nexus picked up an AK. May have been a sound cue there for Nikados, but there are 3 players to find in total. flameZ boosted up now as Nikados creeps around the pillar, trying to show some elbow and find some information, trying to survive if he can. There is the peak as well, leaving fnatic now 1 versus 3. Plenty of time for him to work. He's got the AK. Does he have the headshots though? Can he isolate the fights? We've got 2 players moving through the water as fnatic tries to hold on to the lead here, but he won't be able to do so. Won't find the angle. OG find a much needed 3rd round to the 6 of fnatic.
It wasn't even a good buy for OG. They didn't even have that much to work with in that round, but fnatic try and up the pace. Crims looked like he was about to farm with the MAC-10, but Fiku landed a fantastic shot with the D to stop him in his tracks, because OG weren't ready for the rush. They were positioned so far back at the bomb site, but because they get that first kill and tuck into water, it makes it awkward for fnatic to clear those angles. A lot of props there to OG for winning that one. And maybe they can use that momentum to their advantage. Crims defaulting out towards B, thinking of going for the opener, but that nade does a whole lot of damage and makes him think twice about his aggressive maneuver.
Now, how long will OG hold this formation for? If fnatic go back to the late rounds, they will be somewhat devoid of information towards A.
You definitely see some teams start out with 4 CTs on B just to try and stop that rush, because it's so much harder to rush that A bomb site. You normally have to give the game away with utility, and then that rotate can arrive. It looks like that's the case here. flameZ joining back up with Dexter at A, and in fact, NeoFrag will follow suit, so now it's a more A-heavy setup for OG. Ouch.
Yeah, Dexter starting cold with the AWP. Another awkward situation around the toilets with Diop, where that can create massive issues now. How proactive will OG be to try and find a way back into this? That's a difficult frag for NeoFrag to land, but he will be traded. flameZ now looking for the multi-frag. FASHR doesn't realize he just ran into someone, and there might be a chance for 2, but here's a 3rd player as well. They're lining up! He just about gets 1. It could have been 2. 3 would have been immense, but 1 isn't enough. That's quite simple. Nexa with the grenades. Oh dear, we've got 2 frags, and Fiku finds the 1v1. There is a chance. Difficult CT half for OG, but this could certainly happen. Fiku can find the last man, pulling a grenade out, spots him by the dice. He's gambling, and he will win the round for his team. What a nervous situation for OG. A round win, though, is a round win.
Chaos. Pure chaos in that round. Even in the 1v1, Fiku pulls out the flash out of nowhere. I was not expecting that, and yet he still wins it. I think for fnatic, the standard setup for OG is Dexter and NeoFrag on A. So they got those 2 kills, and they clearly just assumed that was it. They didn't realize flameZ would be rotated and in such an advanced position. flameZ flubs the spray, but it still doesn't matter because the rest of OG are able to rotate. And even though Fiku awkwardly pulled out the flash, he makes up for it with the headshot and puts fnatic back down to pistols.
Yeah, that's so important, especially with how few players they survived with OG.
Ooh.
This is the scenario they needed, but they must be successful in this scenario, and that's not a guarantee.
Look at all this damage onto OG. It was nades onto flameZ. I think Fiku just took a shot through the monster smoke or something. It's not an ideal start, gotta say.
The stake has been battered, but OG will try and stay off the plate if they can. Many Desert Eagles lurking around for fnatic. flameZ,
Wow.
very passive with the AWP.
Yeah,
I
he
imagine
takes
because of the
the
HP, right?
Yeah, from Dexter on low health, but it's a very passive A setup. Thankfully, reinforcements will arrive in time.
50 seconds, so much time for fnatic, who are enjoying a slow pace, a snail's pace in some of these rounds. But those are often the most terrifying rounds, where you're just waiting for that execute to come in. Not quite an execute though, more of an execution one way or another with these Desert Eagles and next to no utility. No sound cues given away.
Time's ticking.
There is the flash. neofrag needs more than one. He will just about deliver one. Slightly delay the bomb, making its way over. Swing from the truck. nexa says hello. They're lining up for nexa. There might be rifles to collect here. flameZ has a very important angle, though. They can't cross to the truck without going past him, but Dexter will make things even better. nexa now. 2 players in the red. The high health Dexter will be the one to deliver that final frag. Uncomfortable for OG. Many of these rounds have been, but they're closing the gap now.
Yeah, it's a little labored. Even when neofrag gets the initial double kill, the spray to the body was maybe longer than you would have wanted. But they allow the bomb plant and still stay in control of the round. fnatic will be back to their bye now, though. And I would like to see Dexter maybe take more initiative now that he's going to have the AWP back in his hands. He's missed a couple of shots early. Hasn't really been playing his A game so far. But on the CT side of Overpass, that AWP is critical to controlling the A side of the map, around the bathrooms, maybe even peeking in towards Fountain, in towards mid occasionally. If you don't have your AWP playing well, it can be really hard on that side of the map. So we get a timeout ahead of another gun round upcoming. I do like this fnatic jersey, I've got to say, James. I can imagine you rocking it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think the jersey games have leveled up slowly over time. Ooh, here's a flash. The aggression hasn't been spotted. He didn't see the player behind the fountain, so neofrag pops his head up.
An early advantage for OG. Lightning fast out towards the fountain. Dexter back on the AWP, of course.
Look at this.
Yeah, nexa creeping through B as well. On the pillar once again, just like flameZ was. He'll be spotted, though. What a tight angle from nexa. And he's got support by the barrels as well. Cutting the site in half with the smoke grenade. They don't know what lies on the other side. Now, what will fnatic choose to do? Looks like they're going to go for that boost and maybe try and find something towards the barrels.
Maybe not with a bomb, flameZ. Or does he just do it? Maybe he doesn't give a damn. Oh, okay. Maybe... Oh, they're still doing it, even though they made the noise.
Oh,
And it should have worked.
he had to get that one. He was so urgent. I think he was conscious of the sound cue he made earlier to try and find a frag as fast as possible, but there will be a trade via grenade. 2 versus 4 for fnatic. Oh, walking into that one, that's half his health gone. He doesn't even know where the... Well, he knows where the player is, but he hasn't seen him. Things go from bad to worse for fnatic now. So many players swarming, lurking around. Crims in the clutch. 1 versus 3. 20 seconds to find at least 2 of the players. I think he might have to find all 3 at this point, but it won't happen. nexa shuts it down, and now the score is tied.
A little bit of a looser round for fnatic, giving some liberties to their players to try and make individual plays across the map. Initially, it was Roy just getting caught out towards mid, but then they're willing to let nexa try and make the play, and he got a good timing window towards B. Just didn't work out for him. And then down in the 3v5, if only that boost would have worked out cleaner, maybe there's a way back for fnatic. But without that clean kill, it goes against them. And this was a really strong start from fnatic, but fair play to OG. They've righted the ship, even though the rounds have been awkward. It's pistols again, but it is an early dink onto neofrag.
Yeah,
trying to get out of there.
Awkward. He just took the Tech 9 to the jaw. And he will be on AWPing duties now. To be honest, we haven't seen too much in terms of successful AWPing duties towards the A-bomb site. But with 2 HP, he might get killed by a smoke grenade. He'll have to be really careful in the angles he holds. And we might see a surge on this B bomb site. Have a look at all these Fnatic players in that short B position with the Tech-9s. There's another headshot from crimz. Down he goes, and meZ as well. But they may have created enough space to plant the bomb. 3 on 3. Roy's found himself a rifle.
That molly's not spread to him. Oh, maybe it did.
Indeed it did. That's a lovely penetration kill through the wood there with the AWP. That'll make life easier. FASHR and Roy remain. Will there be some 1Ds? Who engages first? Roy can show some presence. FASHR will try to capitalize. Not happening for him now. Roy in the clutch, but not for long. OG prevail once again. They'll rescue the AWP and take the lead 7-6.
Another decent switch up from fnatic. Even if it doesn't work for them with the pistols, I like that they went for presence towards A and then more of a mid-round call quickly towards B, which they haven't done too often. The presence towards A kept enough players there so that they could swarm that B site, but unfortunately for them, they didn't have a massive deal of weaponry for that post-plant. And Roy was attempting the big reposition there in the 1v2 to try and catch one player out, but Dexter was having none of it. So it's OG into the lead. And a solid win streak for them. fnatic were pretty heavily in the lead. They were 6-2 up. So OG have done well to bring this all the way back.
If OG were able to pick up Overpass, as far as the recent stats would say, that might be huge for them because their pick of Mirage, in their last 8 maps, they have won 2 of them. So things could get a little dicey.
I thought this was a slam dunk pick for sure. Honestly, this felt so good for fnatic, but OG's showing us it's not so easy.
Yeah, we are still in the first half, but it's always good to look at the numbers. Dexter with a more aggressive pick, but no one is showing here. Oh, crimz a little bit stuck there. That was very awkward indeed, but he's able to hop through the barrel and get back out of there.
He's a lucky boy to get out of that one. I thought the spray was going to come into Monster, such a tight choke point. But the angle not quite right. Roy made this play earlier, this time a flash through towards bathrooms. Neofrag was looking in that direction, but he ends up taking a ton of damage from Roy. And Roy's just sneaking in. He's so sticky in the bathrooms right now.
Heading towards the minute mark. Surely that scope was heard, but the confidence, the flick from Nikados. Such an aggressive peek. Lovely kill. Now is the time for OG to try and be proactive. They're poking through the monster tunnel to their demise. That has not gone the way they were hoping. And the B bomb site's been compromised now. And Dexter's kind of stuck.
Bomb down safely. Not much OG can do, and they could do with saving for the last round. A couple of players shortchanged. I think for OG, this is an example of them trying to take a bit of that initiative. We saw it towards Monster. They hadn't really run that play before, but fnatic were so well prepared for it. 2 players holding, and now Dexter is about to be run down. I don't see him saving, especially not if he's going to miss that shot. Second player running at him. Oh, he hits a second, but for some reason looks at the floor to his demise. Might have been out of ammo, honestly, at that point. And so the AWP stolen away from OG. In theory, Dexter could rebuy it into the last round of the half. But his teammates are also a little low on cash. Doesn't matter though, Dexter wants that AWP. Dexter's going to buy it up.
Such an aggressive peek. The shadow disadvantage as well. Crouch peeking like the pre-nerf AWP and still proving successful there. Well then, into the last round of the first half we go.
Oh, he was out of ammo. That's why he gets run down.
Brave New World now. Who will take the lead into the second half? We'll soon find out. We've got CTs lurking around that short B position. crimz with some flashbang support, creeping around the smoke. He's got the AK. Dexter starting to fall back now. Oh, nexa with the double dink, the ding and the dong. That's goodbye to crimz.
First time we've really seen this be short aggression. And crimz almost looked like he wasn't expecting it. Didn't react quickly when nexa appeared on his screen. Now we'll see if fnatic can find a pick back. Nico Doz would love to find an angle here. But I think OG realized they don't have to give this away. The bomb for fnatic still back towards B. So they are taking their sweet time here before making up their minds. And if they were to go back to B, it's an MP9 and then the M4
Unicorn
nexa.
excuse me, it's
True.
a Unicorn MP9.
Oh.
I mean, +2 damage per bullet.
Oh.
Nexa's dropped in short B though, and the numbers will be abused now. Surely they will flow into the B bomb site. Fiku's here with 5 HP. Fiku's not here now. He's been deleted. That's the bomb site lost. OG have to go for it, of course, as it is the last round of the first half. Jumping grenades towards short. Nico Doz won't be too disturbed by that. 73 HP and an AWP for him. Has angles on the connector door. Holding down 2 jobs though, as we can see. Down goes Dexter. flameZ and Neofrag remain. Nico Doz has been dropped, maybe from the left while looking towards the right, but they're still in good form here. fnatic to secure this last round, or are they? Down to the 2-on-2 now. Neofrag with the FAMAS won't be enough, and it will be fnatic at halftime with 8 rounds on the board. Can they take this? Can they take the first map, or will OG steal it away from them? Find out after the break.
over on the B stream, we've got Furia taking on Big. Now, Big have been playing a bit of Anubis. They've been looking like a very hot team on it, but Furia, they came out swinging. And we actually saw Safe join Quesawara and doing a huge amount of damage in order for them to get the win. But these map pools kind of work for both teams on this, because then it went to Furia's pick, and they went for Mirage, which has been a tried and tested map over and over again for Big. And Quesawara, he wasn't there when Furia needed it. Big, they fought their way back, and now we're going to Ancient for a decider. It's still all to play for, there's a lot on the line, but this...
OG bringing it back in that first half, keeping it close against fnatic. Now we'll see what their T side has to offer. A close score after the first half. It is going to be fnatic switching to that CT side. No kit for them, but they've got the dualies dropped over to FASHR. And an early fight for flameZ. That P250 looking to work at range, but fnatic also aggroing up long.
Nicolas, P2000 enjoyer, a rare bird if you will. Almost extinct these days. Communicating by way of pistol fire around Monster, OG and fnatic, but surely he wasn't expecting that, or has he conceded a position to hold on to short? Either way, he's got to be gone. FASHR, down he goes. There's the opening frag. OG are all over this B bomb site. They are swarming. Fiku holding connector for the rotation, but they're all coming from CT at present. 4v4 as the bomb looks to get planted. nexa down to 12 HP now. Got to be real careful about how he proceeds. Roy 6 HP at the same. Who swings first? flameZ with some patient pops, finds 2. And things get worse for fnatic now as they try to get the opening round on their CT side. mezZ and Roy remain 2 versus 3. Roy on the high ground trying to find opportunity, trying to find something. He's the last one remaining, last one to fall. Score is tied once again. OG take the pistol.
flameZ activating again for OG. Normally their 2 stars are flameZ and Dexter. Dexter hasn't really been here, but flameZ certainly has, delivering huge impact with that double kill in the post plant. And that was really important for OG, getting that T-side pistol round win. They have got to go up against the full spy of fnatic though, and back at the major, fnatic were winning so many rounds like this. They always have something cheeky up their sleeve, something cheeky in mind to try and win these rounds. Let's see if they've got a plan for this one. It starts out with the 4B stack for them this time.
Sleeves of Wizards.
Oh, this could be a brawl. A big brawl on the B side.
Yeah, this is going to be a gamble now, up close against these force-buying players, but so far so very good indeed. Flashbang was on point, headshots from flameZ on point as well. Not much for Nicolas to do here, but twiddle his fingers on long. Maybe faster than they would have expected on a round such as this, but very successful for OG as well.
I feel kind of bad for hyping up the fnatic force spies now. They got rolled over. I mean, the call wasn't too bad. They had 4 on B. They just got demolished by flameZ.
Had a chat with No-Tail and Seb recently. CS players themselves, CS enjoyers.
Okay.
They'll be happy to see this pistol round, but what about the overall result? That'll come in a few hours. Score still close. Let's see what fnatic have in mind once they get to their buy on the CT side. That's not quite yet. 2,500 average for them. So maybe it'll be Nicolas with the scout trying to find something. Perhaps a run down the long position. Again, we see flameZ with this Galil. We've seen a lot of Galil frags today. A lot of good Galil frags. Not just made it there eventually, but sharp, precise Galil frags.
Yeah, they're getting good with the Galils these days. I think you have to. It's quite a cost-effective weapon now.
I wonder if Maniac's good with the Galil. Because the spray pattern is essentially the Titan logo, but kind of upside down.
Sure.
So I feel like he should be good with it. I'm pretty sure that's how science works.
Absolutely.
3 grenades in the hands of fnatic, but they may have to wait a while to use them because OG are being pretty careful with their approach. Clearing connector for now.
Definitely didn't get next day delivery on these nades. Gonna have to wait a while. I think for OG, the T side in theory, should be a fair bit harder for them on Overpass. It's not easy to have a lot of simple plays on Overpass. You can maybe go for a B rush with some pretty simple utility, but anything towards A, a lot of map control protocols are needed. So when teams don't play Overpass as often, that can be an issue. Here's the scout of Nikodos, feeling it. He might go for more.
Chances, yeah, no. The chances have been taken away. Utility will solve the problem. Speaking of, though,
Come the nades.
Oh, he's waiting for it. There come the lineups.
Ah.
Baited them out. Very nice work from flameZ. These CTs are waiting to essentially run to their doom, and they'll do exactly that. Great presence of mind there from OG. Not to make any assumptions. Give them the sound cues, fall back, let them make their play, then capitalize afterwards. OG make it to 10. fnatic now will finally be on the buy, their first buy in the second half. No more scout for Nikodos, it will be the AWP.
I think if I'm fnatic here, I might even go 4B early, just to make sure there's no B rush shenanigans from OG, because there's a chance they would have keeping some of those weaker weapons, including the MAC-10. But it is actually 3A for fnatic. They want to take ground here instead. And Neofrag has to be very careful. Caught out by Roy. Maybe OG just respond with a B play now, because they have no control towards A.
Yeah, I don't know how much information they really got from that. Bearing in mind we saw an engagement round the fountain on the first half, and it was a 1 versus 1. They don't know that that was a 3 versus 1. We almost have 2 CTs on the A bomb site, and a push into B does not go their way either. Crimson, FASHR, both delivering support flashes from Nikodos. And there's no answer from OG to the aggression that we have seen early from fnatic.
You see how important the utility is on Overpass. The nades there not really effective for OG as they try and pop out through Monster. And this is always the worst feeling as an AWPer. You get that AWP into your hands, you're excited for your first gun round, and you get left in a 1v5 where your best bet is genuinely trying to save. nexa doesn't seem interested though. He wants action.
Oh, what? nexa!
That is stupid.
It was a frag in vain, but what a frag it was. That's good to see. That shows promise for the rest of the rounds. Oh.
That was such a wild flick.
I'm almost offended by how outrageous that was.
Didn't even look in control of it at all. It almost just looked like a, okay. Hopefully this hits. Bang.
That was quite an interesting first round from fnatic, but sending it with 3 players in the upper areas. Now the question is, how will their CT formation change from round to round? What will they look to offer on this occasion? OG have not made their buy just yet. But what is that? What is the meaning of that?
Disgusting. That's what it is.
Look, he's not even in the crosshair at all, or visible, and he's like, yeah, no, I'll just do this.
Had to be crimz as well. crimz is like, back in my day, no AWPers hitting that shot. What the hell? Maybe Kenny.
Hey man, he played with JW.
True, true. Can't forget about JW. Similar setup from fnatic. Again, going aggro into Fountain. Hopefully Neofrag's aware of that this time. But he is still on an island. Nade stack to B gives away that there are 3 Ts on that side of the map. So fnatic could have taken more initiative if they wanted to, but they're happy with this setup over on A.
Yeah, they've rolled with essentially the same thing, but again, they may understand that only 1 player was spotted by Fountain, so why not run it back? They will do exactly that. There's the flick from Nikodos. Now, how do you respond to that? You can't really. You can try, and you'll lose more players. Now, OG are not in a position to respond elsewhere on the map. They've lost a bomb now as well. And it seems that this entire round may play out around the playground.
That's just brutal. And again, you see how important the protocols are. Having a bit of utility there can make a big difference. Or just making sure you have early info if there has been that aggression, so that you can be ready to try and counter it. But instead, they walk into what they didn't realize was a setup.
Yeah, not much to do here, but just bide your time. Admire the barrel and the dirt. Wow, just really admire that barrel. Ooh, look at that grey, look at that crust. You a barrel crust man? You look like you are.
Very rusty, I gotta say. Very rusty.
Very rusty indeed. What is that, a cooker? Yeah.
Who knows?
It's a bit
There's all
rough out
sorts.
here. Our old studio in Culver City had a river which often looked somewhat like that most days. Last time I was there was actually running water. I was impressed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, 10 apiece. OG have painful lessons to learn from the aggression that we have seen from fnatic, but now the whole setup has been seen. Surely this time we'll see a different formation from fnatic. Indeed, it might be.
Ooh.
There will be 3 players over there at least.
This is a very last second call from OG to buy. Neofrag's only just leaving spawn 10 seconds into the round, but they have decided to fully force. So I feel like OG maybe didn't have a massive plan for this one, but they've got to come up with one now. And at least fnatic aren't taking away A entirely from them. Instead, it's the B short aggression, which looks good for fnatic early. Nice bit of info. Now that AWP gets the line of sight onto connector, and this is hard to overcome. You need utility, really. Otherwise, it's an easy pick for Nikodos.
More power of the lack of thought for a CT squad. Now the AWP has time to rotate, but OG could opt to go down later on. Jiggling their way towards the A-bomb site. At some point, these pistols will have to swing and create space for those rifles. Roy holding onto his smoke. Does he put it near Dice? Can make it difficult for the T's to advance. Flashes for both squads now. As the pistol gets close, but what can these rifles do for OG? They've got to find some frags. There's still time for them to find them, but they have to find them. Now there's one rifle remaining. Now there's one player remaining, and there he goes as well. So no plant, just the 1 kill for OG. fnatic, I think, will be happy with that.
Get it, Roy. I love Roy as a player. I think his journey has been so cool.
Agreed.
He was on the old school Danish lineups with some of these other guys that have come up, with players like Shush back in the day, players like Bubsky back in the day, and he was always the support element. And now he's a star on fnatic. This guy has been given a lot of credit, a lot of respect on this team to play the way he wants to play. And he plays like a star on this team. He's such a solid player, and he keeps on showing it. And now for OG, they are really feeling the hurt here. Oh, Fiku definitely is. He's got a concussion from that nade. And flameZ has just received one too.
Very painful when you don't have any Kevlar.
Oh, you didn't see that they crossed? It's fine. It's all good. Calm down, everybody.
No harm done.
Just a little dink onto Nikodos for fun, you know.
No util whatsoever. Really difficult round to... Like with a round like this, what do you think the goal is? Because you should always have a goal. Even in a round like this, it might be, all right, let's try and get 2 kills, for example. Or maybe 1 kill. I mean, a bomb plant's unlikely without a flashbang.
Yeah, I think it is just damage. Yeah, 1 or 2 kills is what you go for. Anything else is kind of a bonus.
Yeah, I think two kills
2 would be nice.
is a big task, but you always have to have a target in mind. 35 seconds. OG must die. They need the loss bonus.
Is that an Invaders Must Die remix? OG must die.
Can be.
We can make that happen.
Like you could make a VHS cover for a potential low budget movie. OG must die. Nexa will be the last man now, picking up the Desert Eagle, trying to find some objective, but not able to do a whole lot, which is to be expected in a round such as that. But now we move forward, and OG will try to do the same. fnatic, 4 rounds away from victory. OG, maximum loss bonus, and again, minimum target to buy, to have a full buy every round is a bomb plant for OG. So that's got to be step 1 for the rounds to come.
I think this is the round where if OG have some good standard utility to just slowly gather map control, stop any CT aggression, that is what is needed here, because they haven't even had map control in these rounds. They haven't had the chance to make plays. It's been taken away from them in almost every gun round. And again, Nico wants to do the same. Deep peek into Fountain. Ooh, decides to go off the angle. So OG will be fine at the start of this round. But again, they're losing B short control. fnatic always looking for info somewhere, and they're even going to swing out to Monster.
So early to be this proactive.
They're not even making noise. They didn't even flash it.
It's a minute 20 on the clock, but have a look at flameZ's angle. Do they go beyond where they are now? Or do they read that surely someone is covering somewhere?
Yeah, I like this.
There's still time for OG to rotate back in this direction, and the radar says that that might be likely.
Oh, and fnatic just re-smoked Monster. I wonder if OG clear this. They should. There's nowhere else they have to look. But when the CTs re-smoke Monster, you're not thinking about this.
Oh, he's gone for it straight away. FASHR, he's got the information at least. I think he may have seen the bomb there. He saw 2 of the remaining 3 players. You can see the rotation now. 40 seconds on the clock. What's Neofrag going to do in the upper area? Lurking around by the toilets, as is Nikados with the AWP. They don't have short B. They can't really rotate, but he can try to pull players away towards that A bomb site before they head in towards B. Money towards long. And there's Neofrag saying hello, but surely they know he slipped past Nikados. He misses the kill, but that's the bomb. That's the information they need, and the clock is ticking. Disaster strikes for OG. Nexa goes down as well, and fnatic move to 13.
This has been brutal on the T side for OG, as I feared it may be. And honestly, if you ever want to know what it feels like to play a pro team, I suggest signing up to open qualifiers. And if you ever play Overpass, it's so brutal because the nades and the aggressive options for the CTs are just so scary. The nade protocols alone are terrifying to go up against. And fnatic just keep finding ways of making OG uncomfortable. OG never have map control. They're constantly living in fear, in paranoia. And they're back down to pistols again. Just not even able to get that bomb anywhere near the bomb site with how this game's been going. Oh dear.
I feel like Overpass is a great test of depth in that respect. Some of the reasons you mentioned.
Oh, okay, Crims.
Crims is not letting up. Nothing but pressure from Crims. Well, these eco rounds have been super dry for OG. And again, you don't plant that bomb, then this is your reality. So few rounds to lose, and half of them will be like this. Just hoping for a peek at this point.
Little ace? Nope, just kidding. FASHR's here to steal it. Steal the chance for it. That's all right, FASHR, get yourself a couple of kills on the board. You can see on that scoreboard, one of the things I love about this fnatic team is just how balanced they are. You'll see a lot of games where the kill distribution is very even. Pretty similar across the board in this one. Oof. The slow-mo sounds nice, gotta say.
It really does. Despite the nature of the recent rounds fnatic have won, OG only trail by 4. And yes, it looks like they're up against an arduous task, but it is still quite doable. Lovely boost, and introducing that at a great time late in the game can have a big impact. HG grenade through connector as well as Fiku tries to take some control for his team.
This is how I love fnatic. They always have something new every round. Something to catch OG out. And Overpass is a map that rewards you for that. B short still feels scary. Crims is close by. They might swing from both sides, and mezZ finds the angle above. Do they even know about Roy? They've got no clue. Catches that man in the back. And again, OG don't even get a chance to set up their play. They are just getting beaten back wherever the hell they go.
Full control from fnatic. They have a stranglehold on this game of Overpass, and they move to game point. 15-10 over OG. Most of the OG players will have north of $4,000. So they'll have work, they'll have tools, but it has been a long line of rounds for fnatic. OG haven't experienced success for a minute.
Yeah, and I think the one thing OG could in theory have as their advantage in this series should be their AWP difference. Dexter should be a better AWPer than Nico does. He should be having more impact. But he's actually bottom of the board right now. He's only got 9 kills, having a pretty rough performance. And Nico Doz hasn't had to do too much on the Fnatic side because the riflers have been so good at activating in all of these rounds. But I think for OG, they need to see something better from Dexter as this series goes on.
T-side scout against game point. That is a rough situation for OG. It just makes things even more difficult for them. Now let's see what Fnatic will choose to offer. Nikodos will be on the B bomb site with an AWP. Not too much damage from the grenades. He will really need a headshot, Dexter, if he's given the opportunity, but Fnatic, after so many rounds of deep aggression around the A bomb site, they are playing essentially from the site itself with 4 players on B. Plenty of time to rotate as OG will need time to clear all these positions en route to the bomb site.
Looks like Roy might play for Info as the solo A player, and then hopefully he can put this smoke down if he can get away with one. He left short open here, I think because he heard these long flashes, so he realizes this is where I need to be a little more concerned about. Only the 1-for-1 for Roy though, but at least some early info that can allow this rotate for Fnatic. It's a big rotate as well. A very big rotate at just the right time.
No lurkers towards B. Looks like they are quite committed here, OG, in this 4 versus 4. Edging forward, flameZ Shadow will betray his position, and down he goes. Fiku trying to do what he can. Dexter's still here as well. 2 versus 2. Will they clear the site fully? FASHR goes down, leaving Crims coming in from the back. Truck plant will be safer than the dice. And he's heading all the way towards long, it looks like. 1 versus 2 for Crims. He's carrying a kit as well. Dexter looking for information around the smoke. Willing to drop and find out. Just eliminate some of these positions. Crims could be bank, could be long, could be toilets. He will not be clutching this round though. OG, only 4 rounds away. Fnatic are... they're not going to run out of money anytime soon. But OG are still alive.
Yeah, really solid round from Fiku. Picks up a 3K in that one. This was that initial trade, and then I thought Fnatic's stack was going to be too much to handle, but Fiku gets a couple of nice kills. And I like the idea from Crims, thinking that the flank from long would be unexpected, but Fiku just sits in a corner, only exposed from that one angle. Here's Nico Doz trying to get involved early, holding the left side of this smoke, but he can't stay here for long. Someone could wrap him from playground if he's not careful. And that molly will be his signal to move back briefly. He wants to stick around though. He really wants this fight. And it's a fantastic headshot, but Neofrag was allowed to close the distance. And OG will take that trade all day long, getting the opposing AWPer out of there. Oh, but Roy brings another back.
So that's 2 players spotted around the A bomb site, but the bomb is towards B. 2v2 situation. 3v2 situation, rather, on this B bomb site specifically.
The way Fnatic is set up, though, they could just play retake if they really wanted to on that B short position.
Messi won't be blind for long at that distance. Holding a very tight angle, trying to conceal his position and delay a bomb plant as well. There'll be a boost on that short B area. Over the smoke, have a look at that angle for FASHR. He can see absolutely everything, but I think he's been spotted by nexa to no avail though. There'll be a trade eventually, and now the bomb's on the floor. 33 seconds, and that's a wrap. Fnatic will secure Overpass, their pick over OG.
Really solid performance coming in from Fnatic, especially in that second half. And Roy had that fantastic star showing we were hoping for. 24 kills, and he had 9 opening kills. He was a monster in those early fights, and that is what really took OG down in this one.
Strong start from Fnatic on Overpass, their pick. Thoughts at the desk after the break.